France has routinely produced Counter-Strike champions, but the price paid is a churning scene, throwing up new lineups and formations as shuffle flows into shuffle. This new squad sees Existence, the old king of CSGO tactics, reunited with his prodigal sons Kenny and Shox, but equipped with both of France's great talents at the same time. The most ambitious crossover event in recent history seeks to perfectly balance mighty powers with a team-orientated tactical style. The style which put France on the CSGO map, bred with the one which gave her major trophies. Can the past conquer the present? Will strategy best the free-form skill of many of today's top sides? Existence has answers, but are they the right ones for this moment?
The answer for the first map was yes. G2 take the first in a battle and a matchup that we thought they were perhaps going to be outgunned. It is Mousesports that fall by the wayside. A full 30 rounds of play, though. And if that video didn't get you going and didn't get you starting to think about being a G2 fan, should they make it playoffs, I don't know what will. Hype as all hell, and you always forget about that element of Existence, which is, of course, you get them to the stage, he'll get your blood boiling.
Get you excited, get you going, I reckon, is the way to look at it.
Did this map get you going?
Yeah, look, okay,
Be honest.
So that first half, I think the biggest key for me was the way that Kenny was just patrolling mid with the AWP, right? He had a couple rounds tagging him as they're crossing the doors, made it very difficult. You saw early how he punished Rops with the rotation. They had some cool strats that they were rocking out. But the better factor for Mousesports was their individuals were what were keeping them in it, right? And that was the players. You had Sunny with that big 3K catwalk. You had Snacks that had one of his own. They weren't able to convert that round. The Rops clutch as well, retaking A. If you take those rounds out of the first half, Mousesports had nothing, right? They didn't really get anything done. Their CT side was very weak. And then flipping over to the T side as well, it was more just individuals and loose game plans as opposed to any hard strategies. And that has to be expected with Snacks just coming in.
And Existence can frag. I mean, that one round, that quick 3K Yanker was retro.
Yeah, I think people underestimated at times. I mean, even, earlier on when he was in this team before, people used to speak about him from Source days and how good he was then. And then he became an in-game leader and kind of, took a step back individually so that he could let others play and he could only lead. Now, I'm not going to stand here and say, yeah, Existence can be among the best in the world, but I think he can definitely be respectable when it comes to fragging.
We saw them live during the Pro League Yanko with Logan on ODLC, and Old Mate Existence was the best player on the team. So, look, still a little bit of light there for the guy.
Don't know where you
I mean, I agree. There definitely is light for him, and it has to be him or Smiths or Body. Someone has to be that third fragger on the team. You can't just expect Kenny and Shox to carry you every single time when it comes to fragging. We see it now 2 maps in a row. Smiths has been doing pretty well for himself.
Decent numbers there. One of the factors, though, that was working for Mousesports was those mid to B splits where they were just walking out lower dark, straight out mid doors, and just punishing Smiths and Existence over towards that B bomb site. After it happened the first time, it looked like they adjusted straight away. They actually swung Kenny and Body to that cap play, but Mouse went for a long play of their own, so they were kind of one step ahead in that regard. But I think that could be something which could be exploited in the future. You don't want to have to be cheating a third member over all the time to help that B bomb side out. They need to discuss what they want to do in mid to Bs a little bit more, because there was a round, Smith's Molotov to the doors, and Existence put it out with a smoke. And at that point, it's like, okay, well, you guys are panicking. You're not really well prepared for this scenario.
I mean, there's a lot of unspoken communication that we often get to see. And actually, we have some spoken communication ready over at the player area. We talk of Smith. He's given us a rare opportunity for some insight in the middle of the series. Trace, over to you.
Yes, indeed. I'm standing here with Smith himself from G2, and what a monstrous performance across Dust 2, man. And I really kind of have to attribute that to some of the op battles we saw. Talk to me a little bit about opping on both sides of the map here.
Yeah, it was pretty rough with Oscar and Kriji. They are pretty good with AVP, and I'm not really in shape with AVP, but Kenny did his job pretty good, and it was really a battle like back and forth, so I'm happy to take the map. It was ours, so now let's go Mirage.
Let's go to Mirage. Now, with that being said, before we get there, let's talk just a little bit about what made it back and forth so much on Dust 2. I mean, was it shots hit? Was it strategy? What really got us to the point where we had it almost into overtime?
We put both pistol. We get eco like twice, so we didn't have the advantage on it. We did a pretty good like T side, and during their T side at their debut, like they really put the really fast-paced game, so it was really hard to catch up. But yeah, it's a really good team. We are still learning every round, so yeah, we're happy.
You have to be happy. And now going into the second map, which is Mirage. Of course, this is my final question. With Mirage, do you expect to have a similar showing here? Because that was a pretty heavy fight there.
We are a bit less strong on Mirage, and it's their best map, so we'll give our best. But anyway, the third one is Inferno, so no problem.
No problem on Inferno. You heard that here first. G2 feeling confident, but we're going to be going into Mirage, and that is the next digital battleground. Go ahead and take it away, Alex.
Oh, thank you very much there, Trace. Yes, Smith's not necessarily filling me with confidence regarding G2 and their confidence going into Mirage. However, the fact that you're smiling and saying, oh, it's fine, Inferno's the third map, going into the second, doesn't necessarily seem like the most healthiest of mindset.
Definitely going to be a third map. Look, if we wanted this to be a 2-0, Mousesports had to take Dust 2. The fact of the matter is, look, it is their best map, and it has dropped off a lot for Mousesports in recent times. But I think a lot of that is the fact that they were getting stale in the way they're approaching and getting counter-stratted. With Snax here, we're going to see if they're changing anything up. Is it going to be plug and play? Is he going to be the B-bomb side anchor on that CT side? Is he going to be doing Stico's roles? How are they going to factor him in? And that's going to be the big question mark, because we haven't actually got to see that yet with Snax in the roster.
That's a tough one. I was about to say, do you know what Snax's was on VP? But that's just rolling back the years. He
was
was
playing
a
B,
player as
so
well.
I think he can slot in pretty easily into holding the B bomb side, at least when it comes to the CT side. On the T side, we'll see. You can see him already in Mousesports. He's trying to go for his signature plays wherever he can, you know, pop flashing through smokes and going for those plays. And that's great, but the team needs to be on the same page. If maybe he creates an opening, but it's a very small one, and you need to be prepared for it and pounce on that opportunity for it to, you know, pay off. If you miss that window, well, then it was actually a bad play, you know, then it didn't favor your team. So I don't think it's something that Mouse players are necessarily going to be used to straight off the bat, but I don't mind Smith's not sounding super confident. He's just being realistic, you know. It's not I'm not going to stand here and tell you, yeah, we're going to take them down. You know, we considered them for a pretty long time the best team in the world on the map, and we know G2 used to ban it. I mean, Shox used to veto it almost every team he played for. So I think it's going to be a case of they're going to try to maybe play a bit more loose, you know, have a bit more fun with it. And if they have a couple of things going their way, they can make it interesting. So if you're Mousesports, don't fall for the trap of trying to reset them early, or like Chris J had the scout more times than he had an off in that game. So you don't need that on Mirage. Take the hard eco. Even if you lose the pistol, you don't have to force buy and just focus on the gun rounds. That's where you should have a clear advantage.
How does that sound about right of a checklist for Mousesports to ensure that this goes their way?
Yeah, they should definitely be able to lock down just
Nice
based
and
off of
safe.
their experience on this. The problem is we have only seen individual plays be the reason they've won those CT rounds, at least in the first map. It was people stepping up and getting 3Ks or more. So that could be a worrying sign. But I don't expect the scenes to be the same here.
If Chad could have beaten them, I'm sure Mousesports is going to crush them, you know.
I was just watching it.
Unless we see some of those existence spray downs from stairs, you know, triple kills and things like that. But yeah, this one is definitely Mousesports' game to lose.
Yeah, it's their playground, it absolutely is. But of course, as you know, we don't need to remind you, there are win conditions on that G2 side. The likes of Kenny S, I'm just going to list players. Kenny S, of course, has been finding form ever since this roster was reshaped. And we're going to see how it goes down on Mirage. It is time for us to get into this one, though. If you guys are still joining us, be sure to go ahead and tell your friends to sit down, relax, and enjoy. So we're going into Mirage as we get to see new G2 versus new Mouse. It's a real treat for the eyes and a treat for Counter-Strike fans worldwide. We'll leave it with Jason and Pansy.
Thank you. Moses and Lauren, Jason and Pansy. There's plenty of ways to say it, but no matter how you cut it, this should be a fun game. We have G2 in the lead. I think a lot of people now see this as a 3-mapper, but there were the mention of win conditions. There are chances for G2 here. Mousesports cannot rest on their laurels. They are a great side on this map, Mousesports, but we've seen that G2 have a lot of life to them, but I don't know if we're going to see it on Mirage.
Yeah, and Mirage, while, I mean, on paper, their best map, as Smith said, Mouse has shown some weakness on it, although no weakness there from Rops. Good response from Body. The crossfire set up, but it doesn't even matter. Body's got 3, and he's going to go for 4. Smith takes it from him, but that's the round. Oscar's the last one left. Peace.
It's this.
See ya.
They ever do, you know, in-game voiceover packs? Can you just do a lot of that?
I'm in. I'm so in.
I'd buy that. I'd be all over it. But Oscar, the 1v4. Bomb not to hand. Position noted. He's giving it a go. Bless him. It's not gone well. Body with 4 that round.
That's not bad at all. That is a very good round, especially considering he starts out on, you know, he saves the day. A nice opening kill from Rops and then takes this kill. Rops doesn't expect it whatsoever. That transfer, that first quick kill on Sunny, even if Snax is able to trade that frag, that allows Smiths to swing out and get into the action. So, yeah, the crossfire setup was perfect. They didn't end up needing it, but if they had, it was still there to be effective. So G2 now, they have won 3 pistol rounds in this series.
But can they keep hold of the second round?
I know, that's the question. It's been a tough task.
And it's Rops with the scout this time. Does get a good tag, but the kill has come in for Smiths there. Oscar showing what he can do, and Chris J as well. The pistols are good. And this is going back and forth. It's just down to Rops, down to 1v2. I mean, it's looking quite likely that G2 will close, but you never know. That Deagle's done some damage, and he's tagged up Shocks here. Oh, and he's taken down Smiths! Does he not know when he's done? This man is fighting tooth and nail for this, no armor. But my God, he brings a lot of fire to this one, doesn't he? Shocks is a one-shot, but does Rops predict him to be so close still? What does he do with this? Bomb now to hand. The map is his to play with.
Why is G2 fighting so much in mid? That's just like non-stop. Even pushing right at the end in a 2-on-1 and turning the corner. And yeah, I mean, we saw the same issue on Dust 2 fighting in middle on a round like this that they ended up losing as well. So a real chance here for Rops, and he's going to need to bring out the scout if he doesn't want to. This is just a straight up 50-50. Like, this is all down to luck, all down to timing of where you're going to pick to watch, what bombs you're going to pick to go to. Shocks is hot on Rops' heels with the right call, but if he continues to run, he's going to be hurt eventually. Now he just stops. That shift key, baby.
This is a horrible game of cat and mouse at this moment. Does Rops get the timing right? Who makes that sound first? And he looks away. Oh my God, Shocks didn't look left either. What on earth was that round, Jason?
Oh, you hate to see it. What a round from Rops. I mean, the opening shot to get that for the tag.
Yep.
The 1-on-2 victory, the headshot with the scout, knowing he'd already tagged up Shocks as well, so pulls out the Deagle. G2, it almost seems like they're so uncomfortable in those rounds that they just want to fight. Because they just don't know how to sit back. They just don't want to mess with the Deagles, I guess. So 3 pistol rounds for G2, 3 second rounds lost.
Yep. Oh, you hate to see that, dude. Oscar's just, you got to be reeling off the back, that sort of thing happening to you.
Oh, dear Lord. Nice shot from Existence, obviously.
Was.
Sunny's in some danger here. Shocks has the angle from Catwalk, and he's definitely spotted him now. He's been tagged. That's by Body. And actually, even Smith's now getting into the action. Still fighting in mid. Deagle's abound. One sees that on Kenny. And Mousesports being forced away. G2's actually controlling the situation.
Sometimes Counter-Strike makes weird things happen. I mean, it should be fine. But so should the last round. But, I mean, Sunny is still low HP. That's the one thing that gets you a little bit scared. But
I think they've just kind of won Mousesports, finding this B bomb site.
Yeah.
Unless Body kind of has a spidey sense and turns and finds a 1D on Snax or whoever's going to peer from B. He's not even considering the option, and obviously you have to take some calculated risks, but he hasn't even looked over once. So if Mousesports, that being said, Snax does have this position, but it feels like they might use utility anyways to get into the site. There goes Chris J. Now Body's going to turn around. Snax should be able to pick him off. The recovery, the swipe down isn't there, but now Shocks has a rifle. That's the last person you want with it.
2 kills already racked up into this round. And now Snax and Rops, one with a MAC-10, one with that AK. Bomb to be planted. Time's in their favor, but you get nervous here. Rops looks nervous here, trying to get up to a better position, but Existence isn't far off from this, and the timing could work very well for Existence, bearing in mind, I don't know how quick Rops is going to work this out. It does seem as though he's dedicated towards this now. He's just going to sit and wait. Existence Might outdo him. He just gets the timing right as well, doesn't he? Now the 1v2. Shox has no armor, no kit. And he's being toyed with here. This hurts. They fought valiantly to get it this close, but not going to get any further. Snacks to control in the end, and that position towards B paid off.
Yeah, really dangerous. Nice play from Snacks to be able to get into that B bomb site, open everything up. You have the perch. You're able, because of that advanced position, to kind of surprise the one defender body as he turns around and tries to make it into that B bomb site. Second round for Mouse despite the danger. So 2-1 on this T side. Couple of nades for G2. One more deagle on Smiths. Everyone between 2,000 and 3,000 bucks built up on the CT side. There's the nades. Sonny, he's just hiding, he's waiting, and that's an easy kill onto Kenny. Using the range of that Galil, even against the deagles, he's able to tap away. Shox does some good damage, but Sonny remains composed.
It's the name of the game here, composure, isn't it? 3-1. We do see the purchase now coming out from G2, so they can get the nice buy beside them. I'm wondering what we see changed, upgraded, or switched out from Mousesports, or they might just opt to stick on what they have. Does bode well for their money. Some people are already looking quite pretty on that as well. 6K up there for the likes of Snacks, sitting on that Mac 10 too, so that's going to sit with them very well. Of course, assuming they win this round. Still always good to be able to repurchase, but still. Mousesports, it's time to go. Let's see what you got. Aggression towards middle, coming out from the CT side. G2. Existence leading the charge, catches our Rops for free. That's a good start, and now here comes the pace towards the B side. Smoke goes up, but they're ahead of it, and in we go. Shox with the call will be made. That's going to be noted now. Support's there for Smiths, coming through by window, but it's too little too late, it seems, as Oscar and Chris J do very well, and Snacks even with a kill. That's very nice. And oh, Kenny, you want that orb, don't you? You want to keep control of that no matter what, but it's a tantalizing prospect, but I don't see this working out well for you.
Ooh, he's going to try and surprise one through the flames. Oh, that's a great flick. He recovered so nicely onto that. It's just Sonny, but I don't think Kenny is going to... Oh, maybe he does, but so desperate. As you said, without a kit, there'd have to be one on the ground to make this worthwhile, and he has picked it up, and now he's just got to go for desperation. No idea where Sonny is. That's certainly going to spell the end. He's on the bomb, through the smoke. He's being found, and yeah, Sonny gets him. Nice attempt from Kenny. Got close.
4-1 now. And what are your win conditions in this for G2? Is there any, or is this just a map that Mousesports should be walking through? Is this one of the comfortable ones for them that sit well in their wheelhouse? Or is there like a world you see it maybe going well for G2?
Mousesports is obviously good on Mirage. I think it's kind of dropped off in the sense that you don't have to be afraid to play them on it anymore, the way it was for a certain stretch. But I think it's fair play that you still think that Mousesports should be able to kind of not breeze through, but it should be relatively easy for Mousesports considering you saw the confidence of Smiths. I mean, this is still a new lineup of G2. So I guess a win condition, you kind of would lean on Shox or Kenny S to kind of carry in this position, wouldn't you? You'd say these are our two players that we know can carry, just kind of like the old recipe of one of those two guys going nuts. In a map that you haven't really well prepared against a team that's been good on it for some time, you kind of need more of an individual effort.
And the individuals are not coming out this round. Chris J on 4. Fifth will not be his. Sonny takes that, but 5 is the name of the game in the fact that it is going to be the 5th round on the board for Mousesports. 5-1 now. We still see the purchase coming back out for G2. It will be a little barer than they'd like, but it has enough utility beside it. They can get what they need. Obviously, no fallback situation here for them. They need that round on the board.
Double up setup for the defense. Shox picks up the second behind Kenny. Kenny's going to have his over towards A. Shox heading over towards the B bomb site, and he'll be going over towards Van. Rops eats the nade damage, and there's Shox swings out a bit too wide. Chris is able to take him down. Now he picks up the pace. He's seen one. He's now aware there's a third, and his team's already blocked off by the Molotov. Snacks needs to get something, but he just can't do it. I think Smiths and Body have done enough. Smiths inside the bomb site does go down a bit too fast. And with a player on catwalk to secure this post plant for Mousesports, I think this is going to be a round for them, although Existence jumping through finds some early success.
This isn't bad at all. I don't ever write Oscar out of these situations because he can be just a god tier player at them. Gets outdone by Kenny though if it's in Rops' hands. See if he's stone cold when it comes down to it. 2 players to find the bomb. Not necessarily really easy for him, especially with that Molotov burning. 4 HP remains and the defuse is coming in. The kit is there and he cannot leap through that. It's done. He has to walk away and it will be finally a bite back and a fight back for G2.
That is a great retake. What a jump through the window from Existence. Perfectly timed. It seemed like all the advantages were over for Mousesports, but Oscar obviously not able to get the read on Kenny as well. Very quick peeks from him with that op as he enters into that B-bomb site. And the second round. Now they need to build upon it. We'll see what they can do. 5-2 here. Couple rounds fast-paced towards the B-bomb site from Mousesports. Just now, G2 stops them the second time. There's Chris, and he wants to get more aggressive over towards Palace. Kenny's stuck. Kenny's stuck behind the box, but there's Existence for the save. Kenny thought he had one. Thought he had him dead to right. It's not going to work.
It's all coming up for G2 now. Kenny being unleashed. Existence is there. It's a combo that maybe not quite expected to be so, I guess, on point, but it really was there, bailing each other out of situations. And Sunny and Snacks, not really much depth to play here. Smith's getting warded off. Good play. Oh, great play from Sunny. Body and Smith's being put to bed. It's a 3v2. This is still doable.
Yeah, even in a win, you don't want to take too many losses if you're GT. You just won one. You're on the verge of being reset. Yes, you have a man advantage right now, but even just losing 2 players is going to be so detrimental to coming back into this half. So Existence is making the play. It's to flank up the stairs. Snacks is being mindful of it, and there's the peek. He does go to check it, but he's not prepared for someone to actually be there. Existence gets 1. Sunny's got 3 in the round so far, 45 seconds left. And he spots Shocks out. He gets a 4th, 11 HP, and he's against the op. So the health doesn't necessarily matter, although Kenny swaps out for the M4. But now Sunny wants to play with the map.
He's got 30 seconds and he has to get an ace. He's going to have to play some hard bit of CS here, but
He's going to have to get sweaty, as you like to say.
He does have to get real sweaty, but you can see the, sweat on the forehead, perspiring. He's thinking through it. He's crunching the numbers, and honestly, he's kind of got this one, at least for the cross. So the bomb can be planted. Now he's got utility. That's a bit of a factor here. Kenny doesn't have much, but he just has the peek.
Yeah.
Done, sorted. Kenny's got the job. Picks up the AWP, get the defuse, sorted.
Yeah, great timing for Kenny. Able to peek over. Either way, Sunny with 4 kills does massive damage. That plant is gonna give so much cash over to Mousesports. Then all of a sudden you have G2. You have 2 players right now at just $100. Smiths and Body. They're not going to have anything crazy. Kenny will be able to drop 1 to 2 weapons. I imagine he'll drop 2 M4s. But G2 is still backs against the wall. They're not kind of out of the danger zone just yet. Nicely done from Sunny throughout this round.
Really was. Such an individual effort, and it was so good as well.
Yeah.
The 5-3, it's getting competitive, but for now, smoke towards middle. But that's not where most are leaning for Mousesports, over towards A, it seems. And we are seeing a big presence towards B from G2, maybe pushing players down towards short early on.
Pop flash to get Kenny off the angle for just a half second, and it works. Chris J with the entry with that AK-47, although right back through the smoke. Existence finds the equalizer, and actually all the damage being done through smoke so far after Kenny goes down. It's a 4-on-3. A nice little sucker punch there from Mousesports to go quick up into that A-bomb site. And now you've got Sunny for the late flank. He's been spotted out by Body, and he might just want to give that up. G2's going to have to be cognizant. They're going to be thinking of their flank the whole time, and I think that kind of spot of Sunny might just say, well, let's give this one up. Let's just save. They don't have the cash to fight for it. Smiths can't afford to lose this weapon, but he does win that fight. That's huge.
Yeah, the money situation now for G2, even though they have been clawing rounds back, it's been incredibly close. So again, they can't really afford to.
It goes back to the four kills that Sunny got in that losing effort in the previous round. Those were massive kills to get, and it kind of dissuades. You can almost think that Sunny wins this round for Mousesports, as the lack of economy, the lack of money dissuades GG from even getting close to going for that retake. And now with only 3 weapons, they got to fight from a disadvantage. 6-3 in the favor of Mousesports, and G2 is going to call a tactical timeout as they want to discuss where to go from here.
And not an easy conversation to be had, especially without that familiarity on this map or with the teammates. I mean, you're You're uphill struggling through a lot of obstacles that you're not wanting to be on. Keep in mind the next map, if required, if we do go that far, would be Inferno. That looms over this matchup.
And Smith said Inferno was no problem.
Yeah?
I would love it. I mean, Smith's, he outfought Simple in the first map of the day.
There is that.
He outdid,
there is
he
that.
outdid like Oscar, Sonny, and someone else in this first map here. So I would love it if Smith just turned out to be a badass and just started smack talking everyone.
This is Dust 2.
It's not Mirage.
We're back underway, but while we blinked and kind of missed it, we went for a trip down memory lane. Smith's tempered the aggression coming in through Palace. Now, it was a 1-for-1 trade out, losing out on Existence and losing out on ROPS for each side. But for now, Mousesports don't have that step towards the site maybe they were hoping for, that they had maybe building initially. So the smoke comes through, the flash to follow. Oscar going through the motions here, keeping Smith's relatively present body as well. Body's been quite good at this, though. And the timing is very good. But Oscar's still a threat. Can't underestimate that. But Body finds it, pushes him away. That's a big move, but do they overread into this?
Flying V from Body. That's nice. Shocks now. Smoke is up, but that can be a deceiving smoke as it disappears, especially if Snax is able to find an angle before Shocks can. Dangerous game. There's the spam through. HE grenade gonna come out, and they've actually tagged him up. They forced him back. That's a great nade, but he needs kills. He's now got his teammate here, Kenny, but he's gone down. So Kenny has so much to do. Got to be careful they don't wrap upon him. Wants to stop the plant. He does just that. Molotov forced him into the site. He's got the cover of the smoke, but now spam comes through, but now G2 have it under control as well. A fourth round for the defense.
Yeah, this is getting a little closer.
It's getting scrappy.
It is, and I kind of like that. I think it plays well to a degree for both sides. Obviously, more recently for G2 and the fact that they're keeping it together, but their money is never going to be perfect. They're never going to have that nice economy if it keeps being this scrappy, if individuals keep having so much impact. But for now, all is well, aside from the fact of Shocks' gun. I mean, everything's been purchased for Mousesports. There's almost no room for them to be caught out by that. I don't know how he intends to use it or make it work, but he's going to have to find a way.
Think over that B bomb, so you can hide behind a smoke. You can get creative with it. Obviously, you're going to want your teammates to do the work over towards middle, over towards the A bomb site, the guys who have the rifles. Body on catwalk, Existence playing in jungle, and Kenny playing retake at that A bomb site. Sonny and Chris get mid for free. They've used some utility. Now going to try and work their way up, and no one on catwalk to really stop or spot this. So Mousesports have pretty much free reign to attack this bomb site.
Sonny took a lick of damage from that, but the smoke wall does go up, makes it a bit trickier.
That's beautiful, because Shocks is just starting a flank from the B bomb site. So that smoke is going to delay it. It's going to buy time, allow Shocks to get into a position. He's going to take the long flank, and that's not great. Body goes for the peek. Chris J puts him down, and there's Smith with the peek on catwalk. And actually, Chris J turned his head, but he recovers in time, and he's going to get a third. Chris J has just destroyed everyone, putting on a clinic here, as Mousesports is going to be able to take over this bomb site.
Kenny cannot replicate that sort of thing, and now this is huge work coming out from Chris J. You felt the positioning started to fall into place for G2, but I don't know, Shocks is showing us something here. It's probably not enough, especially with that gun. Gets himself an op, tries to get away, but there's a man watching the back, and it will be ROPS, and does not expect the angle. And it's Mousesports keeping afloat in this one. 3 alive, not bad. Pick up the AWP again. Keeps the money building in the right direction for them, but this is great from Chris J.
This is nasty. He even turns away, and I didn't think he spotted Smith when this peek comes out. Maybe he did right at the last second. Yeah, he turned back for it. And the follow-up. That's one of the rounds of your Shocks, you're frustrated, because all you're saying is, I'm flanking, I'm in T-spawn, all you have to do is stay alive. And obviously they want to stop him from getting up connector, but just everyone dying so quickly like that has just got to be like, what the hell just happened? I have the game-winning play, not able to really enact it properly. Stack towards the A bomb site. With 4 players, it's going to be Existence running back towards the B bomb site, but G2, this match, the control of this match is really slipping away from them. 4-7. Look like they'll at least be going into the second half with a 1-round deficiency at best. But they could end up losing a lot more before all is said and done.
Nice work from Snax and Sonny just to keep this one going in the right direction. Kenny to find 2 for himself. Existence to find... Oh god, the bomb's very alone as well. Okay. Suddenly this becomes a bit of an issue, a bit of a problem, doesn't it? It was all looking hunky-dory, it was all looking lovely. Everything was going the right way. Now, Oscar can be a pain in the ass because he's going to probably cause 2 to rotate eventually.
They're both going to rotate with that.
Okay,
if you're G2 at the moment, you're thinking there's no way in hell they're in different spots. But actually, Rops gives up his position. So now Oscar's got to get back in, and he's pretty solidified in mid. And that's going to be the end of the round. But that did get a little bit scary, a bit tense.
There's a way that it could have happened where that could have gone wrong, and you're just seeing it unfolding like, oh lord. Now that's a nice little pickup if you can get away with it for free. Or is he
go for it.
fancying his odds? No kit though. I don't know how he's going to work this one out.
Well, he's got some time to find this kill if it can be quickly. He's hoping that Rops is going to make a mistake. But yeah, he's not going to grab that op at all. Now he's going to go for it, but Rops is there with the peek, and he's not going to let him get the AWP. So Existence just falls back towards the top of mid. He's being hunted down. Would love to keep onto this AK-47. There's a couple players, not a whole lot of money. Bodies at 1,400. And there goes Existence to the bomb. So maybe a small mistake for Existence down the stretch, I guess you could argue. I would have preferred him picking up the ult.
Yeah, I mean, it was right there. I'm surprised he didn't.
I mean, obviously, I guess his thought process, you could see they picked up a double op anyways. So his thought process is, I don't need to pick it up because we're going to be able to buy him anyway.
Yeah.
But again, no kits, and they're missing some utility on Smiths, on Kenny, on Body. There's some pieces of this defense missing. And Sonny with a great play. Feeling the confidence, gets up a ramp. Rops as well wanted to do the same thing, but he gets caught out in the open. Decent damage onto Smiths, but maybe pressing the envelope a bit too much.
Sometimes if you're feeling it, I guess you got to go with it. But for now, they do slow down a little. And it looks like a B hit's going to be coming in. The bomb's not far away. Hopefully they have success if they do keep trailing this over here. But Shock's with a different angle, but he might have just missed the timing on that. And Snacks gets 2. Kenny, I don't know what he was thinking there. Completely out of position. I'm no surprise.
Shox wasn't aware that Snacks dropped down, so when he gets killed, Kenny still in his head is trying to get over and kind of get into the bomb site to help him out. And then again, he's just caught in the choke point as well. He's too far to really turn back, and he just ends up looking a bit silly. A quick round for Mousesports. I think the Rops peak as well from Palace was, since Sonny gets the kill on A ramp, he's thinking the next defender is going to be trying to find Sonny over towards A, and he'll have a peek against someone who's not really paying attention to Palace, trying to catch him off guard, and obviously didn't pan out that way. But that round almost seemed to be everyone on Mousesports kind of take whatever fight you want. Everyone just take a fight early on and take advantage of the craziness.
Kind of like it. I like the Mousesports have this many kind of looks to themselves, and they can just kind of go for this.
Yeah.
G2's money is now in dire straits. They've kind of sunk all the way down. They still have the AWP and the rifle obviously brought over, but even then they've got 2.7 is the most that anyone else has, aside from those two. So yeah, bit of a sticky spot for them to be in. Now Mousesports never got completely stable on money, but beyond that they're doing fine. They're on 9 rounds. They can repurchase here just fine. And even with all these timeouts that G2 are trying to call and come up with, it's hard to pull something back together. We're seeing the individual side turn out for Mousesports, and that's where things get a little bit worrying and scary.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're now starting to feel it to where they can just take whatever fight. Like even if it's just called out a spawn, but everyone's just willing to go take a battle. And that's where it gets tough to read if you're G2, which might be one of the benefits they have on a map like Mirage that they're not as familiar with, that they can kind of figure out what's coming. And now when you just have Snacks dropping down, I mean, there was noise being made the whole time they were progressing down these B halls, but nothing that was indicating it was going to be like a full-blown hit onto the bomb site. There was no utility, no wall of smokes, no flashbangs being bombed over. It was just Snacks kind of sneaking his way out.
Well, now they've got to find something with 2 Deagles, a P250, bit of armor. But they still have that AWP and they have that rifle. Smiths and Kenny, be on point here if you want to keep this one afloat. Otherwise, Mousesports make it to double digits in the first half in the second map, and we are eyeing up that third map. It's very early to say that, but you've got to feel the prowess they're starting to build behind Mousesports suits them well. And with the full utility into this round, you've got to feel something's going for them. But that aggression on Cat could do something.
Could indeed. Obviously, you take the leash off Kenny this round. Tell him to play by instinct. Sees nothing in mid. They're going to get aggressive, and they find the timing. Rops not prepared for that. Smiths, though, I mean, you can't get away from that. Fair play. Shox is here close to the left, and Oh, Chris is waiting for the peek, and he's going to walk right into the deagle with missed shots. Shox is going to be upset about that one. Kenny as well falls. An awkward peek. Existence is there for the trade and body. He needs to find that. He does get it with the last bullet. That's the bomb as well, but there's just not enough weaponry. And Chris has got one bullet.
Which one?
The only one that matters.
Exactly. Well, it feels good. Right. Double digits Mousesports. Looking good, looking confident. Kind of, I guess, more expected approach from G2 by this point. We, again, if you look at Mirage, and if it is just a work in progress, you're not expecting them to come out flying on this map. Right. It's not something that's going to be an instant thing that just sits well in their wheelhouse. It's a progressive, maybe, thing that they can work on down the line. But for now, they've still put up a decent couple of rounds. A couple of issues here and there have been obviously occurring to the fact that Mousesports have 10. But again, Mousesports have 3 AWPs, Jason.
I'm down with it. They're already up A ramp as well.
The Dorps.
Yeah. Okay.
Help me.
Rops gets the opening pick. There's Kenny inside the site, and actually, since this is a bit of a scattered free-for-all round from Mousesports, there's no one to really take advantage of Kenny's position, which he could have get locked into. Rops is still waiting for more players to show themselves at mid. Not happening quite yet, although Shox is going to start sneaking up along the wall. He's got Kenny in the window, and his Rops going to be prepared for this. Are they going to be ready for Shox down below on the ramp? There's the leg. Kenny gets the kill. Too fast, and Oscar has no idea of Shox's position. That is a good aggressive stance from him, and that should be the 5th for G2. It's 1-on-4 for Snacks as he swaps out to the AK-47. Triple op didn't work that well.
No. No, it didn't. You like the idea, you know?
More is better and all that?
Yeah, you're excited by the Dorps, but does.
Don't try and make it a thing. Don't try and make it a thing.
I need this, all right? just let me have it, please. Yeah. All right. Well.
10-5 for Mousesports, heading over to the defensive half of the map. G2 couldn't quite handle it, and kind of came true. The lack of confidence in Smiths in that interview after the first map is, yeah, Mirage isn't exactly one of our best. We don't exactly have it as well prepared as Dust 2, and it's kind of showing here in that first half. But switching over to the T side, now you can dictate the pace, and we'll see if there's any tricks up the sleeve of Existence here to cause another upset in this tournament. This would be a series upset as well. It wouldn't just be the one mapper over Na'Vi. This would be 2 maps over Mousesports, which would be very impressive.
Yeah, it would be. I think no one could take it away that their route would have been tough. If you face the likes of Mousesports and Na'Vi, that's 2 big names that stand in your way. Especially, as you said, in a best-of-3. 1 maps, you can kind of sweep aside and go, all right, well, you know, they're talented players. That's never changed. But if they can convert here, or in the 3rd, that'd be impressive. Mousesports, though, just back on track, it seems like. Especially with 10 rounds beside them. And in we go. Body puts himself out there as bait. Checks over by Sandwich. Dark is still a threat, but he's on the go. He's on the run. He's not slowing down for anyone. And, well, so far, not so good.
Hasn't gone well. Body with 1, but the rest of Mousesports is chiming in. That's the first pistol round Mousesports has won in the series across these 2 maps. 1 for 3, or 1 for 4, I guess it would be.
Yes.
25%.
Good maths, Jason.
Listen,
getting it all today, huh?
I'm just showing off for you. I know you're shy of doing math, so.
Yeah, I wasn't great in math class.
What class were you great in?
English.
Maybe that's the easier one. Really?
Wow. Wow. I'll just use big irrelevant words. How about that? Then I sound smart.
A+.
No, I wasn't great in school. Now I work in esports is the way forward. All right, over towards B we go. Spots mate. Snacks is wounded, actually. He's been dinged up there. That's feels bad. Falls off. He's got support, though. I like this. He's making them do a bit of a runaround, but it doesn't really matter. What was that? Oscar, where's your head at now? 2 players remain, and they are being swarmed and overwhelmed. G2 just kick it up a gear. That was filthy.
Now the CZ's working wonders for them as Body finds the opening 2 kills and Shox presses the issue out towards Market. Sonny can only save in a 1-on-4. So every team that's won the pistol round has lost the second round so far. Teams just cannot handle the second rounds. Whether it's CZ's like we just saw here, whether it's Deagles like we saw with Mousesports. Pretty dirty stuff. So it will be a 6th for G2, and that might be the little spark that they needed. It'll be interesting to see Mousesports, if they buy here, they can put themselves in a weird money scenario for this half. And on the CT side, if they kind of lose control of that, if they lose the plot on their money, they could be in a lot of trouble in this half. So this is actually a pretty big decision in this round if they decide to buy up into it. Please don't.
How French are you feeling? Ooh.
On the scale of 1 to French, do you want to force buy?
We'll see. They are making up their minds.
It's pretty French.
It's gone a little French there, hasn't it?
They've gone full French. All right, so investment from everyone. Chris J only bought down to 1,100 as he wants to have the AWP. So big economic risk here for Mousesports. Still some weapons with a chance. And I guess, I mean, as much as we make this sound a little goofy, and I guess if you're Mousesports and you've won every single second round with Deagles and Scouts, like I guess you're probably feeling a little bit of confidence in this sort of a buy.
Yeah. Within context, I do not blame him. But it's still just in theory a very dangerous game. But apparently it's fine because Chris J can just land bangers. He's all right.
Well, Existence is going to be able to respond. The equalizer is found. G2 hasn't really had an answer for these kinds of rounds. On Dust 2 at the very least. We'll see what they can have here in the second half. It's everyone towards the B-bomb site. One player in mid. Existence just manning down the fort at top mid, spotting out the rotation, spotting out information. They're going right at the M4, and they're not going to check Snacks. He's going to get one. He's able to get a second as well. That should seal the round because Sunny's in great position. They can't continue forward. 45 seconds left on the clock, and it's a full rotation for Mousesports, but now they're the ones who have to get back in a hurry. They're out of position as Smiths kind of runs his way through the underpass. 30 seconds now on the clock as they don't commit up connector either. And both teams, Mousesports especially, have to be a little bit confused. Back up catwalk we go, but Sunny's here. Shuts him down. Not able to get the follow-up. Smiths is zoned in.
Show me what you got, Smiths. Let's see. Let's see the 1v2. There's armor on Oscar, but he's only got a Deagle. There's a Scout on Robs, but he has no armor. So, oh, God. It's actually... The French just got out French, Jason.
Why not? Well, there we go again. Mousesports with a big win, 12-7. The gamble pays off. 12-6, excuse me.
Look at Chris J's face. That grin just sums it up, doesn't it? Just like...
He's like, yeah, it's a bit silly of me, but I like it.
That Deagle he shot as well, just... Blah. No, there's not much to be said. G2, it's not the first time they've suffered on the end of that either. It seems like a bit of a common trend, and you thought this wouldn't have happened, but here we are.
That's a bit wild. Double kill from Snacks in that fashion. Here's Shocks. Gonna come through the smoke as well. Rops is ready for it, can't complete the kill, but now he's just spotted way too many bodies. He's playing retake, so appropriately he falls back instead of risking his life and risking the weapon to try and hold on to the bomb site. He goes down anyways, but he has bought some time, and G2 isn't really able to gain a whole lot of control, but now Body's getting involved with the AK-47. Spots one towards CT spawn, reacts but can't complete the kill. That's the bomb on the ground. Kenny in Existence to recover.
Saw the combo working surprisingly well. The timing could be good, but he's taken so low. Down to 9 HP, but this could be Kenny's time to strike. Can he catch a bit of a moment on Chris J? No, apparently not. You thought that was all his. He's had a mare, he's made a meal of it, and now Existence left in the 1v2. Looking unlikely.
It's almost like Kenny was more surprised to see Chris J than anything, and he even had the angle. He had the jump on it. Gets the early damage, but can't connect with any of the final bullets. And yeah, Existence in a 1-on-2. He's only got 9 HP himself. I mean, everyone's pretty much one shot away from death. It's licensed to kill mode in GoldenEye.
There we go. Chris J up in Palace. Tricky position. Has to get past Snacks. All right, first step. See if he finds a second. Don't expect it there, do you, though? Or do you? Apparently, yes, you do. Existence with the 1v2 in the end. He's been putting in his hours.
Papa Existence with the big win. 1 versus 2. He's back.
What did you just say?
Papa Existence. Yeah. He's the daddy of the French scene.
All right, fair enough. I get it.
Yeah, that's a miraculous, well, not miraculous, but that is a great 1 versus 2 to win. I mean, obviously, no mistake able to be made. And this one right here, this is like, you have so many different positions that he can come from. He can come from ramp, he can come from palace. And obviously making the appropriate guess, but as well maneuvering himself in case he was wrong to be able to be protected by those boxes. And here we go. G2 don't want to mess around with these anymore. They don't want to get kind of stuck. They just want to rush towards the B bomb site, but a double nade does massive damage, slows them down in a big way, and they're running into a whole new obstacle in these kinds of rounds. It's not the Deagle, it's not the Scout. Snacks here, patiently waiting. He's going to stop the plant. He's going to stop the plant, and he's going to live afterwards as well.
Yeah, this is nasty from Snacks. Smith's head rolls to the floor, and somehow, again, with the lesser weaponry, they seem to do so much damage. Off back on that Scout. Somehow Snacks still alive and kicking. Not much left to play with, but it could be enough to put him down. Not this time. Shocks levies it out. Kenny to close.
He's done everything he could. 2 kills for Snacks, even trying to pull them into the crossfire setup with his teammated Market. It's not going to work. 8th round for G2. They're pretty fortunate to get out of that. I mean, a double nade that slows down the hit, a couple kills out of Snacks, and even survives, which is going to delay time even longer. This is a beautiful second find. That could have gone much, much worse for G2. Not going to happen, as back to USPs here for the Mousesports side. They've got to sit around out, and G2's not out of this.
No, they're fighting hard to come back into this one. Can't take it away from what they're doing here. Let's see how they approach this round. We do have the stack towards B, the vast majority of Mousesports way over there. Chris J finding a bit of contact towards ramp, bit of a back and forth, but he's very alone. How is he so good with this gun? Just, is there another? No. Some of these 1Ds are just really damn good.
Yeah, it's impressive. Some players just have it with the Deagle. I don't know what it is. It's always been that way.
Yep.
It's frustrating. I was not one of those players. AK's out, and they're going to be able to make their way into that bomb site. And the bomb is actually the last one. Existence is being very cautious as he progresses his way up, almost trying to like leapfrog his teammates to make sure they've got his back. They have taken over the bomb site. Kenny's going to get one free one, and Oscar, he knows exactly where he is, trying to pre-fire the angle, and Oscar swings out into it. Snacks gets a dink, but is going to go down as well in a pistol shootout. It's just ROPS. But it'll be a 9th round for G2.
Yeah, this is G2 showing again that they've got something to bring here. Didn't drop it in this round, which is good. We've seen they've been having issues against any lesser weaponry for some reason, but this is clean enough. And they need a bit of clean rounds coming in. Maybe they can start eyeing up getting orbs towards Kenny on a more regular basis, potentially down the line. We'll see what he can do with this one. On the other side, of course, Mousesports, their money is in a bit of a pickle.
I mean, they're going to buy this next round, but they're going to be missing some things. They're going to be like right on that edge. The M4 users will be fine, missing some things. It's the Alpers you got to question. They can't even afford to get one out. So it's going to be all M4s if they choose to buy here. And this is kind of that economic cycle that I mentioned at the start of the game, how awkward it can be if you take those economic risks and you lose out on them. And now you look at this buy as they've kind of saved, and it's not a great purchase. It's M4s, yes, but there's plenty of things missing. No kits. Nades on Snacks and Oscar are out of the question. It's an SMG on Chris J just so we can have that kit, just so we can have an extra smoke.
Let's see if Mousesports can stop the roll. G2 starting to build. Can't take it away from them. They've shown maybe there's more to them than we thought. Kenny with a quick strike does catch a bit of a leg towards Snacks, and he wants this. This is brazen as anything. This is brave. And there is always that fine line between brave and stupid, but that one, that's stuck. Now, the issue becomes the rest of G2 weren't necessarily here.
Yeah, they have the B bomb site. The bomb is down towards T-spawn. They're also walking into A, and Existence is in mid. This, G2 has no idea what's going on, which might work in their favor, considering if they don't know what's going on, then neither does Mousesports. But the problem is, so spread out across the map, is how do they actually be able to work together? They now call the flank in. They've lost the B bomb site. Body's here, giving up his position, needs to kill, not able to get it, and they still don't have A. It's ROPS just playing patiently.
Who's in CT right now?
That would be ROPS.
Oh.
I don't think Smith has any idea he's still here. Fake plant to kind of lure him out. They have no smoke for it. They just have the flashbangs. That's perfect. That's going to allow the bomb to go down, and it's going to be a 3-on-2. Chris J has an op now. Andy has that kit. Keep in mind, he dropped down to the SMG just to be able to buy that. This is going to be tough. They've actually run the gauntlet. Smiths and Shocks both playing from the same position.
I don't know how this one goes. They've got utility, they've got smokes, they've got kit still up, they've got it all. I don't see this playing out well for G2 unless they can deliver something very good and very individual to a lesser extent. Sunny right up around the back makes a bit of an awkward predicament of one, but now it's onto the 1v2. Smiths almost gets caught out on the first, swings for this, and it cannot happen. It will not happen. Mousesports continue forward with 13.
Oh, that could have actually worked if they had just kept one eye on that murder hole until they decided to double peek. But you could see they were lined up, they were waiting, they knew they had to peek together with the flashbangs. That allows Sunny to just get that one critical kill. Almost for G2. A weird scenario where the success of Kenny towards the B bomb site might have actually hurt them at the end of the day.
Yes.
which is always awkward.
It encourages Chris J to go on this weird flank that completely clears out B. They find the players on short. It was very odd, you're right. But all that aside, this does put Mousesports very close to pushing us through to Inferno, where I think, again, it kind of evens that playing field. We've seen this map sit a little bit more favorably towards Mouse.
I think G2's done enough across, against Navi earlier, across these two maps to kind of say, well, they're looking in better shape than we probably expected them to, and you can't exactly count them out, even if they don't have a whole lot of experience across a lot of maps. I mean, these guys have all played together at some point, right? So it's not like they're all starting from scratch in terms of communication and how they like to play.
It does make you wonder what this lineup could do down the line. We'll see. Again, seeing if we have any players doing something a little bit different. We do have Chris J working his way down. That's a strike to be had on short. Big impression made early. Is there a response from Kenny? Not this time. I think Snacks has learned his lesson here.
Don't want to mess with him. Oh, Chris, he never learns lessons. All the way up top mid. I don't know what that means. All the way up top mid, now starting to flank, and he's going to try and clear this player out. Body's aware of the possibility, and that one hurts. That's a big loss. Smith still aggressive in A, and I think he spotted the barrel there. He certainly did. Oscar can't find the kill. 4-on-2 now for G2. This would be a great round win for the Frenchman. This would be a harsh reset late in the stages, so Rops has to hold things down. He's got to do some more work. Snacks at 7 HP is relying on Rops to be the one to get this round done with. And that smoke is going to force him away.
50 seconds now on the board, and that feels like a lifetime for Mousesports to try and keep this in hand, but where are the... Ooh, Snacks.
Iconic snack spot as
About to say, I'm getting flashbacks to Katowice, Tosspot's nasally voices happening. Oh my God, is this really going to happen?
Oh no.
Thank the Lord.
I thought you were just going to redo the whole cast.
I was tempted. I mean, I can pinch my nose and try and do my best Tosspot impression, but I mean, all that aside, I was... You get a little worried when you see that position, don't you? You start getting those flashbacks to literally how that looked.
He didn't want to go for it though either. He could have gotten in the corner.
What's that?
He could have gotten in the corner.
Could have. Maybe, he's not
We'll
who he
have
used
a
to
chat
be.
with him after this game.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, dude.
Just for nostalgia, please.
Gonna need you to redo all the same moves you did 3 years ago.
Something about a winter wonderland. And with a bit of wanderlust, Rops is going to be left wondering. He does not have much to be...
It's that English major coming in hot. Chris J getting taken down. Nice headshot with the CZ. Snacks now has found a corner of this smoke. A little gap to work with, and he's spotted the legs of Kenny, and even going for the jumping scout. That one's not going to pan out, but why not go for it? Smith with the bomb is probing connector. He's got to be careful he doesn't drop it in here. The rest of his teammates starting to work their way up catwalk. Snacks and Chris J to defend.
And they need a couple of kills in this. We've seen them doing it pretty... Oh, God almighty. Chris J finds existence? Kenny was the man he tagged up, and there's Sunny chiming in. You wanted a couple of kills, I guess I'm getting them. But he has fought back towards Chris J and create, I guess, at least some room for movement. But this 2v2 is still very much on. It's still very much deadly. You've got the scout with Snacks. CZ as backup if required. Obviously takes a lifetime to get out, but it's still there. And Sunny with that deagle. My God, has he shown some brilliance with this. You're going to see it again. Body falls. It's a 1v2. Kenny, yes, tagged up. These guns can do more than enough to take him down. That is no problem here. But does he get the timing right? Can he play it right? Or is this going to be maybe Mousesports picking up a round that you wouldn't really expect?
Kenny knows he's got to get creative. 11 HP. Looking to cut off the rotation. Snacks not even showing it. Oh, and he had the timing, but he looked away. Oh, he read that well, but it had to be at that perfect moment, and Sunny just finds it. That is tough for G2. You can tell kind of with that interview that, you know, it makes sense. They're not exactly well-oiled machine in some of these mid-rounds in terms of where exactly they want to go. This game has gotten very scrappy back and forth.
Mousesports are grinding in the right direction, though.
Yes.
And they seem to have that potential in rounds where they really shouldn't. Even though the money was way better for G2, they were on that decent purchase. Mousesports does have some real grit to how they approach this game, and you can't help but enjoy kind of seeing that sort of thing. But I'm not sure how this is going to go from now on. Snacks to find Shocks. Already a bit of, you know, first blood being drawn. Very early on here. 4 players remain for G2.
Again, Existence off all on his lonesome. T-spawn. As G2 looked like they wanted to posture towards this B bomb site, but have fallen away from it. You have mid-aggression from Mousesports delayed. Right around the 1 minute mark as they start to push up, and Oscar wants to find the information. He's going to get around the corner, not quite, as he hides the top mid. He's got one of his teammates, Chris J, in the underpass, so he's secure in doing this, and he has the information. The tough part is Smiths. He's making some noise in these B halls, but I think Oscar, because he has the information of people that have already crossed, he's just largely going to ignore Smiths. It's Chris J that will deal with him. And it's this A bomb site that will come under fire for Mousesports. They're at 14. No more mistakes can be made, and Chris finds one, and Oscar's looking the other direction. This should give G2 the intel that Mousesports know exactly where they're going. This is still going to be tough. Sunny off angle inside the bomb site. That's the bomb down on the ground as well. Slows things down. Smiths has to win that on low HP, and there's Rops pouncing from underneath, and he's going to get a double kill. And Mousesports has held on. Even losing 2 players, they had all the information. They had everything they needed, and they still win it out at this A bomb site. It's going to be a 15th as Mousesports plays to take us to a 3rd map.
Heartbreak for G2. It felt like they may be building back into this. And there it is. Sign seal delivered. Mousesports pushing further forward now. Eyes on the prize. They know that this was their map. This was their ground to be winning it on. Letting it slip in the final throws would have been devastating for them. Favored in this matchup tremendously. And now that 3rd map begins to loom. Inferno. We've seen that maybe G2 have proven that they've got something to be shown on that. I didn't get to see the Na'Vi game earlier, so I'm wondering what really happened. Hearing reports of Simple being outdone by players you don't expect, but yeah. Again, time
it does happen.
It does.
It does happen. I mean, it just kind of like these. I think, you know, the Na'Vi win, and obviously this series here are just going to serve to kind of answer some of the questions we had about G2. Because if you're like me, and you didn't have a lot of confidence in this G2 roster when I put together, it's mostly based off the amount of question marks that come in, right? Not just Existence coming back to pro play, but Smith's coming off coaching to compete again. Last time he was competing, he was really struggling to be able to keep up individually. He seems to be playing well, you know, so far in this tournament. Which is always good to see. It's, do they have enough firepower is one of the big questions, no matter what the tactics are. And the answer to that seems to be, as long as Smiths is playing like this, the answer is yes.
And a man to the good, Mousesports leading in this round. CZ's bit of armor, light utility, not much. Not gonna make this easy. Body having a go, but it's Oscar to pin him to the floor. Chris J to follow, and Kenny and Shocks just have to watch as this all sinks around them. It will be that 3rd map. There's nothing I feel that Kenny can do here. Even though he's had a good game, he played well. And it looks like Oscar might just check on this one. Yeah, he's having a look, and he's having a shot. It's 16-10. We're back all even at 1-1. I don't just mean the Colombia-England scoreline. Heartbreak elsewhere in the world, but this does mean Inferno gets played, and that is a tantalizing prospect to me, Jason.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that, especially as the 3rd map. Either way, great grinding win from Mousesports. They got tested, and G2 almost able to pull it out with a little bit more luck in their direction. Regardless, as you said, 3rd map coming up, but that'll be after the break and after the desk. Stay tuned.
ESL 1 Cologne.